Hello everyone and welcome back to Double Sleeved. Today we're covering the final deck for Fighter's Ambition. It is none other than Magenta, the lead villain in Dragon Ball Superhero. And he definitely has a unique deck, just kind of fitting for such a unique character. It does remind me of AoD for those that have been around in the game for a little while. We've obviously got all colors available, and we're able to play that with this latest permanent. So you can't include non-villainous cards in your deck, and treat villainous cards if they're in your hand as if they have no specified cost. So we've got pretty much access to all the different colors, since we're not going to be worrying about the specified cost in the top left. But we are locked into villainous cards, or at least villainous battle cards, since this card was errated. Auto, when this card attacks, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 villainous card among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So pretty much every battle card in this deck is searchable. Awaken when your life is at 4 or less, or 2 or more villainous cards are in your energy. You may draw 2 cards and then add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. So pretty much a guaranteed turn to Awaken as well, which is incredibly good. And then we've got the draw 2. On our Awaken side, permanent, treat villainous cards in your hand as if they have no specified cost. When this card attacks, draw 1, and activate main once per turn for 1 energy. Play up to 1 villainous card whose energy cost is less than or equal to your energy from your hand. So once we awaken, we can pay 1 and then start playing these 2 costs from our hand for 1 energy. Once we get to 3 energy, we can start playing these 3 costs for 1 energy, which is incredibly good with some of the effects that these cards have. Starting off, we've got King Gurume's Villainous Threat, a 1-drop Villainous. All of these cards have Villainous, and for those that don't know, when you play another Villainous battle card or activate a Villainous extra skill, your opponent discards a card from their hand and then negate the skill for the turn. So as you start playing multiple cards with Villainous, then you're going to be forcing your opponent to discard a couple of cards. When this card is played, you may draw 1 card. If you do, negate this card's skill for the game. Or auto, when you activate this card's Villainous, negate this card's skills for the game. So you get to choose which one you want to do. Mercenary Tau, Villainous Threat, another 1-drop 4K. Villainous. When this card is played, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 villainous card among them to your hand, shuffle. If you added a card to your hand, negate this card's skills for the game. Or we can do the auto, when you activate this card's villainous, negate this card's skills for the game. So we're seeing a bit of a pattern here of once you trigger the villainous on one of these cards, it then gets its skills blanked. But again, pretty much the ability to search every battle card in the deck. Moving into the 2-drops, we've got Dr. Euro, Villainous Threat, Energy Exhaust, and Villainous as always. Or when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or less and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. Or choose up to 1 of your opponent's unisons and remove 2 markers from it. Pretty good with some of the unisons that are running around at the moment, just to be able to straight up remove 2 markers, especially when you're playing it for 1 energy as well. Janemba, Villainous Threat, another 15k. Activate main, limit 1 for 1 generic energy. If your opponent has 2 or more energy and you return up to 1 of your evil incarnate cards or 2 villainous cards, none of which have the same name as this card, to your hand, play this card from your hand. So a great way to bounce back some villainous cards if we want to play them out again and get this card out for 1. Golden Freezer, Villainous Threat, our counter attack. It's negate the attack, and if there are 1 or fewer villainous cards in your battle area, play this card. And villainous, obviously, and permanent during your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So if we have multiple villainous cards out, then we're not going to be able to play this card, but it's good just to have that 1-drop negate. And if we don't have the board presence, then we can play this card and trigger the villainous as well. Our super combo, if your lid is black and your life's 4 or less, when you're using a combo, draw 1, pretty standard. Cooler, Villainous Threat, this one's got Deflect, Double Strike, and Villainous. Auto limit 1 when this card is played, choose 1. Switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode, or choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 25,000 power for the turn. as we start getting into these cards with higher energy costs, we start to get some better effects as well. So getting a 25k deflect double striker for 1, that can make your opponent discard a card. Ridiculous, especially when you start untapping energy and negging things 25k. Turles Villainous Threat, it's a 20k with unique. We've got to activate main / battle, limit 1 for 1 energy. If it's your turn and there are 2 or more villainous and or Turles Crusher Corp cards in your battle area and or combo area, play this card from your hand. So as we start building that board, we've got other ways to play these cards out for 1. Bio Broly Villainous Threat, a 3-drop 20k unique dual attack villainous. When this card is KO'd, play this card from your drop in rest mode. That is a limit 1 effect, so if it gets KO'd again, it won't return. Another 3-drop Bojack Villainous Threat, unique villainous 15k, auto limit 1 for 1 generic energy. If your leader is a Magenta superhero or Bojack Brigade and it's your turn, at the end of the battle where this card is used from your hand or energy in a combo, play this card from your drop. And when it's played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost greater than their current energy or equal, and return it to the owner's hand. So some synergy kind of with the Turles as well. We can combo with the Bojack. If we've got another villainous out or another one in the combo area, we can play the Turles, and then at the end of the battle, play the Bojack. We'll obviously get the villainous. Lord Slug Villainous Threat, another 3-drop, 20k, double strike, villainous. Permanent Bond 2, this card gets plus 5,000 power, so we can make it a 25k. When it's played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest and KO it. So we've got some removal. And then the second effect is if our leader's a Lord Slug, so we're not going to worry about that one. And then Beerus Villainous Threat, a multicolor, deflect and offering. For those that don't know what offering is, we give our opponent the choice to either crit a life or we get to draw 2 cards. It's a 25k with villainous as well. Moving into the 4-drops, we've got Red Ribbon Robot, Villainous Threat. It's a 4-drop, red and with villainous obviously. And auto limit 1, if it's your turn, when one of your villainous or Red Ribbon Army cards is removed from your battle area by a skill, play this card from your hand. We've got the activate main once per turn. Place up to one of your villainous or Red Ribbon Army cards in the owner's drop, and this card gains critical for the turn. So an easy way to get this card out, just by paying the 1. And we're going to have a lot of villainous cards, so after we attack with them, we can send them to the drop and then have a 25k critical. A Rudigan Villainous Threat, another 4-drop, 20k barrier. When this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, place it on top of the owner's deck, and then auto switch this card to rest mode. At the end of the turn, switch one of your energy to active mode. So if we need that extra energy, we can just rest this card and untap. Broly Returning Villainous Threat, 25k. When it's played from your hand, it gains triple strike for the turn. And if your opponent has 3 or more energy, when it's played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 25,000 power for the turn. So a really good way to close out games with a 1-drop triple strike, 25k. Petrification, a great black negate. So it's obviously a counterattack. Negate the attack. You may choose one card from your hand and place it in the drop. If you placed a card in your drop, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it can't attack, be placed in the opponent's combo area, or activate skills until the end of your next turn. So really great way to lock out a card. Power Burst, negate the attack. Choose one black battle card from your drop or warp with an energy cost of 1. Add it back to your hand. Just a great negate, especially with the sparking. If we have the 5 cards in the drop, we can add back the Kingarumas if we need to. Yeah, just a great way to negate and have the sparking. Support of the Dark Empire, standard negate at this point, negates the attack and plays the token with blocker. And then we've got the secret rare Super SS4, the Vermilion Saiyans. It's an extra card, ultimate counter attack for 1 energy. For each card color among cards in battle areas and energy areas, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, send it to the warp. For each card sent to the warp using this skill, up to one of your leaders gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. So if we start warping 3 or 4 cards, because we'll have a lot of the colors available, we can give our leader an extra 20k. And then activate main, if your opponent has 4 or more energy, play up to 4 black multicolored cards, which works for a different deck, the SS4 Bardock, I believe it is, not one that we're going to be using here. But that is the deck. Obviously, we've got the Z deck as well, which we can have a look over and just see which cards that we would add for this deck. We've got quite a number of different kind of cards that can be used, specifically things like the Gamma, which was designed for the deck. If we can have a look for it. Gamma 2, Executing Justice, a 1-drop, 1Z energy, permanent. If you have a villainous card in play, treat this card as if it has no specified cost in all areas. Auto limit 1. When this card is played, you may choose one villainous card and place it in the owner's drop. If you do, this card gets plus 10,000 power and double strike for the turn, making it a 20k double striker. And then activate main, limit 1, place one card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, remove this card from the game, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, if your opponent activates villainous or a counter skill, draw one card. More likely they're going to be triggering those counter skills, but it's just a great way to be able to draw cards and have access to those Z battle cards as well. It still is a threat. Other than that, the Z battle cards get a bit awkward with the large amount of energy and things like that. So let me know in the comments what other Z battle cards you think would work well for the deck. We definitely have a couple of options, so let me know what you think works well outside of the Gamma, what you'll be adding into your Magenta Z deck. But as always, if you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.